We're going to get into this book, The Search for Lost America, The Mysteries of the Stone Ruins, Salvatore Michael Trento, all right? In chapter 3, page 39, it says here, in the 1940s, the late Dr. William Walker Strong, a professor of physics, collected a number of cubical blocks of stone from a plowed field in the vicinity of Dillsburg, Pennsylvania. The stones bore several kinds of grooves and markings, which for years went unexplained, save for Dr. Strong's insistence that some of the obscure patterns resembled Phoenician letters. He had originally thought the markings were ancient script because many of the stone blocks bore grooves which were deep and appeared to be alphabetic in design. There's finding an inscribed axe in Pemberton, New Jersey. All right, and this is the people involved: the American Ethnological Society, the American Ethnological Proceedings, Dr. Evans' letter that he sent there. And this is the inscriptions they're talking about right here. Dr. Feld interpreted the markings as follows. The script is Tartessian. The language is Iberic. This is what it was found there in New Jersey, all right? Iberic. On an axe. Stand firm, on guard, parry, close in, and strike. For the vocabulary, he went to a standard Arabic dictionary. His analysis is shown below. All right? Arabic. Look at that. The inscriptions on the Pemberton stone axe cannot be scoffed at. For further up the Delaware River, we have evidence of other stone inscribed with markings also believed to be Iberic script. It says here inscribed amulets from Delaware Water Gap, New Jersey. There have been other inscribed stones found in abundance in the Delaware River Valley. As usual, regional archaeologists, unable to explain the meaning of the etched symbols, have simply put the artifacts aside. Alright, so I just want to show some of the images here of what they were just talking about. So this is the phallic amulet, Delaware Water Gap, New Jersey. Right, these are the inscriptions on it. This is a stone found at Inwood, a wooded section of northwest Manhattan in 1894. It says that it may be a vowelless form of Ogham. Let me back up real quick. You guys can see. Again, they found that in Manhattan. And they're saying that that alphabet may have been used by Iberian Celts as early as 800 BC. All right, they found that in Manhattan. Now they're comparing this Celtic sanctuary at Buchenberg, Stamberg, Bavaria, Germany. Go ahead and take a look at this, like mound, walls, right? And they're comparing it to these mounds in Ohio. So geometric works found in Ohio and Indiana during the 19th century by early settlers. American archaeologists believe these works to be American Indian in origin. All right, from Baldwin, Ancient America. We've read that book. So yeah, that's pretty interesting, right? Now I just want to show this map right here real quick. I know it's very small, but you see all these dots, right? Look, it says plate 3, map showing the distribution of mounds gutted by Cyrus Thomas on behalf of the Smithsonian Institution in the late 1890s. Gutted, destroyed, excavated. Look at all that. Look at all these dots. Let me zoom in. You guys can see, look at all these dots. Gutted mounds. You see that? All over the Mississippi. Look how it goes up the Mississippi, the real Nile, right? Now look at this terracotta. It says here, female terracotta figurine from a deposit cache, Isla Plana, Ibiza, in Spain, right? You see how it looks? Now they found the exact same thing right here. And that's from Tennessee, a kneeling female from a burial mound near Idlewild, Obion County, Tennessee. Look at the face and the head, just like this piece right here from Spain. You see that? Same exact thing. Here's an example of the Back Creek stone. All right, we've gone over this. It says the inscribed stone found in Back Creek Mount, London County, Tennessee, as published by the Smithsonian Institution. The chief excavator, Cyrus Thomas, reported that the engraved characters on it are beyond question letters of the Cherokee alphabet, invented about 1821. It has since been determined that the symbols are Hebraic script from the 2nd century AD. All right, they try to hide it. They were looking at it backwards. They try to say it's Cherokee from the 1800s. Stop lying. That's Paleo-Hebrew. Aramaic, ancient. The Halley stone, the inscribed block, was actually found near the Lackawaxen Delaware River confluence. The inscription, chalk for photo, has not yet been deciphered. All right, this is another inscribed stone they found in the Delaware River. Look at this. They haven't deciphered this yet. All right. Epigraphy. Now look at this urn right here. I'm going to zoom into it so you guys can look at it. That looks like Egyptian, right? Hieroglyphics, just like their walls. But where's the origin of ancient Egypt? So it says that this metal urn found near the confluence of the Shenango and Susquehanna rivers, Binghamton, New York. It has Punic and Egyptian style, may date to 1500 BC. All right, they found this in New York. See what they found here in New York? Where's the true ancient world? Look at this. What's that? The dragon? What's that here on the sides? You see what they found here? Take a good look. Break the spell. All right, break the spell. New York. Now they're showing this. See this little piece right here, figurine? This is the drawing. It says seated person pendant carved from obsidian found along the banks of the Delaware River, not far from Hawk's Nest Mountain by Antonia Ryder. Inset illustration is a small bronze figurine cast in Egyptian style that was uncovered in Carthage. It dates to the 6th century BC. The resemblance between the Delaware find and the Carthaginian artifact is striking. All right, it's a side view. All right, this is the one they found over there. Where's the true original one? Right here in the Americas, again, in stone. Not in drawings, in stone. It says here, engraved pebbles, Lackawaxen, Pennsylvania. It says one of the teams hauled a 500-pound granite block from a river island near where the Holly stone was found. The cut stone contained many parallel grooves and striations along its surface, as yet the markings on this stone, as well as those cut into the Holly stone, remain uninterpreted. But it is important to note that similar stones with grooves and slashes have been found throughout New England and Europe. Based on these preliminary findings, ground disturbance patterns, and possibly 2 inscribed stones, a test trench excavation was performed at a potential occupation site some 100 yards from the Lackawaxen Delaware confluence. At a depth of about 3 feet, a small inscribed pebble was found associated with tiny flakes of chipped stone. No further artifacts were found. An investigation of the area showed that many community people living near the rivers over the years had found similarly inscribed pebbles. Jody Lynn Kahn, a student at Delaware Valley Community College, brought such an inscribed stone to this center's attention. The stone is indeed interesting, for it seems to belong to the same series as the similarly 3 and 4 hooled rough engraved pebbles found in the Tras os Montes dolmens and other funeral sites in northern Portugal. These objects were either tied to the body of the deceased by the threaded holes, or else they served as charms attached to the clothing or necklace of a living person. Although the Tras os Montes examples have been previously read as Basque, it has been difficult to determine whether the ones we found near the Lackawaxen were indeed Basque or Celt-Iberian. They were, however, likely to be one or the other. Either way, it's either or, as the culture was the same. The date, if it had been a European find, would be around 800 BC. It is unlikely that the stones found by Mark and other people along the two rivers were forgeries, because the full implications of South Iberian script were only recognized as recently as 1975. You see that people didn't even know that language, so how would people be making forgeries with that language or writing if it wasn't recognized until 1975? Furthermore, its reportage in past years has been infrequent and limited to professional epigraphic journals. Thus, the combined result of our fieldwork brought to light a cache of marked stones and an interesting deposition site near confluence of the Laxawaxen and Delaware rivers. The stones were inscribed with symbols unknown to American Indians, which have been interpreted as a variety of script that was used in ancient Europe. The book is called The Mound Builders, Their Works and Relics by Stephen D. Pete, PhD. All right, this part of the book, they talk about the discovery or they made in the city of Davenport. So this is the information they had. They say they found several large number of relics, seashells, copper axes, pipes, hemispheres of copper, arrowheads, pieces of galena, pieces of pottery, pieces of mica, stone knives, copper implements shaped like a spool, rondelles showing that trepanning had been practiced. Many of the axes had been wrapped with coarse cloth, which had been preserved by the copper. The pipes are all of Mound Builders patterns. Some of them were carved with effigies of birds and animals. One bird has eyes of copper, another has eyes of pearl, showing much delicacy of manipulation and skill in carving. This is an art. These relics excited much interest and were put on exhibition before the American Association for the Advancement of Science at Detroit 1875. About 20 copper pipes were reported at that time, and 11 copper awls and a large number of bones. They were said to have been found at various depths, some of them near skeletons, some near altars, some in ashes, though they were all from the same group of the Cook Farm. The mounds on the Cook Farm were the most of them stratified. All of them contained bodies and ashes. 2 or 3 of them contained altars or round heaps of stone, but with no relics upon the altars. Mound number 3 was the one in which the tablets were discovered. Tablets, writing. This was a low mound, about 3 feet high and 60 feet in diameter. It was a double mound and contained 2 graves parallel to each other, 3 or 4 feet apart, 6 feet wide, and 9 or 10 feet long. In making the excavation of the first grave, the party found near the surface 2 human skeletons, which were modern Indians, and with them modern relics, such as fire, steel, a common clay pipe, a number of glass beads, a silver earring. Below these was a layer of river shells and a large quantity of ashes, which extended 2 feet below the surface, but which rested upon a stratum of earth 12 inches in depth, under which was a second bed of shells. Alright, so here's a figure. It's going to talk about this later on. The hieroglyphics of one of the tablets. Alright. Above the cremation scene is an arch formed by 3 crescent lines representing the horizon, and in the crescent and above it are hieroglyphics, some of which resemble the common figures and numbers and the various letters of the alphabet. There are 98 figures, 24 in one, 20 in the other, and 54 above the lines. The peculiar features of this picture are these. A rude class of mound builders are practicing human sacrifice. One containing a face, the other circles and rays. Above this is the arch of the heavens with Roman numerals and Arabic figures. Alright, Roman numerals. Alright, what did they find in the Burroughs Cave and in Arizona? Right? Where's the real Romans? And Arabic figures. Alright, we're talking about all these languages and glyphs they're finding in this part of the world. Alright, the true old world. Remember, he said this is the old world also. Let's see what else he found. The figures 8 is repeated 3 times. The letter O repeated 7 times. With these familiar characters are others which resemble letters of the ancient alphabets, either Phoenician or Hebrew. Where's the origin of all these languages? They're talking about Roman numerals, talking about numbers we know. They find this in the mounds. Alright, what's the origin of all this stuff? With Latin, where's Latin really originate? Those Latin letters and all that, right? Those Greek letters. Where do you think all that originated? Alright, they're letting you know they found all this Roman numerals, Arabic figures, and ancient alphabets like Phoenician or Hebrew. Alright, so I wanted to show you this image right here. This is the Davenport tablet. Let me just zoom into it. Do you see this? So they don't talk about this in this chapter. They're just showing you what one of the tablets they found there in Davenport. See how they're like, he's saying they're like doing a ritual right here to see the sun, the moon, or what's going on here. Luminaries. Is this the firmament? What is this? What is this? The firmament? But you see the glyphs? This is in the mounds over there in Davenport. So dodge the hijack. You just zoom in a little bit more so you can see that.
The earliest Zapotec sculpture, thought to date from about 500 BC, shows Olmec influence. Traditionally called danzantes, or dancers, these strangely rubbery, puffy-mouthed figures may represent corpses, the bodies of enemies slain in battle.